I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. A kind welcome to Learning for the Life in UK test part 499 while doing triangular fiber cartilage complex trainings in that area. And if you participate in the triangular fiber cartilage complex training, that is at your own risk. Now, the goal of this video is to make a separate video in which we will explain all what we have learned to Winston Churchill. Now, the most complex part is to find what happened here after the Second World War. It wasn't so clearly. So the people wanted wider social reforms and more change in social aspects. There was already done something to the educational system. But they also then wanted more, and for example the NHS, the National Health Service, it is a service, not just a system, it is a service of the National Health Service. Was done with, for example. Things were nationalized: coal mines, gas, water, electricity, railways, protection from cradle to the grave, social security, primary education. When was Winston Churchill now Prime Minister? He was an MP until he stood down at the 64 general. He returned as Prime Minister 51, stood down at the 64 general election, but it was as an MP. 51, 64. I can't find it out. Okay, we're just gonna say he was Prime Minister again. Prime Minister again. In 1954. He was a Conservative Member of Parliament in the year 1900. He was a soldier and journalist. He was an inspirational figure, an inspirational leader to the British people in the time of hardship of the Second World War. And he remains a much admired figure to this day. For example, was voted in the 2000s and 2002 as the greatest Briton of all time. Much admired figure to this day and an inspirational leader during the times of hard during the Second World War. Okay, anything more here? I don't think so. Let's try it. I have a second camera which I'm going to start now. And where I try to say now all that we have learned to Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, who was born in the year 1874, was a soldier and journalist. In the year 1900 he became a Member of Parliament for the Conservative Party. Then during the Second World War in the year 1940 he became the Prime Minister. So he led Britain basically through the Second World War. He was an inspirational leader through the British people during that phase of hardship. He made many speeches, and there are some quotes of him still in use today. For example, in one speech he said, "I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears and sweat." Or another one he said, we shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the streets and in the fields, we shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender." Or he also said, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few." In 1945, his party, his Conservative Party, wasn't re-elected. The Labour Party was elected. The people wanted change in social things. That was already done during his premiership in educational system reform, but the people wanted more, and so the Labour government was voted in, then under the leadership of Cleveland Attlee, and then, for example, the NHS, the National Health Service, was established. But after the time of Clement Attlee as the Prime Minister, Winston Churchill became again Prime Minister in 1951. And he is still today a much admired figure in the United Kingdom. And that is according to the Life in the UK Test Handbook, page 50. I said first speed 50, yes. But in a way, who's going to pick it up? A bit. Congratulations to the people who notice. I know it's so exactly. It isn't really important for this video. I think so. Not that someone writes with and no quotes are the wrong day. So it was the wrong day about its first few of the streets. So I'm going to stop the camera now. And the second one keeps loading because we're going to do now the triangle fiber cartilage complex training. If you're just here to learn about the next subject will be, maybe we're going to make one with the title, A Very Broad Overview of the End of the Second World War. Or, in big conclusional steps, the end of the Second World War. Maybe we're going to do Alexander Fleming. So we will do something to the Second World War. So in the next video, we're not done with this, and we need the big video about the whole Second World War, what we learned here. If you're just here for learning, you can go directly to the next video. Otherwise, we will do another triangle fiber cartilage complex training. If you participate in that, that's at your own risk. But if you go on to the next video, you will occupy your mind here directly with the next thing and not stay with Winston Churchill. So the idea of this exercise is that you stay for 7-8 minutes in a concentrated mood without getting new input to your brain. So you maybe are able to remember the things we just learned in a way by just doing nothing or just doing something else without learning, in a way. The first exercise, if you participate with this at your own risk, the floodgate. We're having a good and still stance. The arms next to us, hands front to fists, and we're bringing them down. We're holding that for 1-2 seconds. And up and holding that for 1-2 seconds. Now we have 3 rules. The first rule is that you're stopping immediately as soon as there's pain. The second rule is The second rule is that we are going only as fast as we can go without too much effort. So just don't force anything, just go as fast as it goes. Next exercise, the counterfeit money check. Now, the hand fists and we bring them up and down. The third rule is that we're not overdoing it. We just want to strengthen the wrists of the triangle fiber cartilage complex, not exhaust it. So you can take a break at any point. You get down. Can you get down? And up. Next exercise, the mannequin nickel. A tennis racket is light, but it has a long ladder. So you have to know what dumbbell you use. We are holding it up, we're taking the lower arm and we're bringing that arm slowly to the outside. And back over. And back. And back. Over. It is not so much really of use to make a video about the ending of the Second World War, but that could be a question which people ask. I think we read it all. And number the other. And also if we want to look it up again, to have one video without 4 minutes explaining of the Second World War, just what were the broad steps to the end of the Second World War, listed in the book. Is very few just. But it would be helpful. And we have it right now all here. So let's do it. slightly over. Next exercise, we have the arm long out, taking it with the upper arm, we're going now only to the outside slowly and back in. I skipped now things like that he had a state funeral. Listen, Judge. Just we have to know that. Maybe we're going to ask it in the UK test. So that you know. Maybe we're going to ask who had a state funeral. Mr. Judge. Now the other hand. And out to the side. One more time. Next exercise. Short arm in. To the other side. And again. No, we didn't. Okay, right. By the time we got the first verse of Judgment Company. Next exercise, we're taking the luggage from the top and we're lifting it up. We're bringing it over. Slowly. Again in. And down. But I'm going to quote it maybe again. Part of his speech after the evacuation of Duncan. So let's do it again to get a bit more familiar with it. And again down. Okay, right. You shall fight on the beaches. You shall fight on the landing grounds. And again down. I don't know, okay, time two if I but you shall fight in the fields and in the streets. You shall fight in the hills. You shall never surrender. And now, with the palm of a hand up and finishing up. You shall fight on the beaches. So you outside and now. With the other arm up. You shall fight on the beaches. You shall fight on the land. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. And we have two more exercises. First, you have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. And now press onto the sock with the towel also a little bit and bring your wrist up. And again down. And the last time up. And down. Breathing up. And on the other side. Pressing with good force. Up. And up. And the last time down. Last exercise. Never in the field of human conflict was so much out by so many to so few. Just press with good force on it. Now same on your side. And in fact, we're done with the triangle fiber college complex training. I thank you very much. And